Hey everybody, this is David Bradley from richmansgym.com, and this is the Rich Man's Gym podcast. This is a personal development, first timers welcome. This is a personal development podcast dedicated to strength and conditioning for body, mind, and spirit. So if you, like me, are looking to level up and then tap into that true potential of yours, then my friend, you are in the right place, and thank you for being here. Now listen, if you get some value from today's episode, do me a favor, make sure to share this out in the cyberspace so that somebody else can get some benefit from it too. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you can't miss an episode. And if you love it, if you like it, don't just share it, but go ahead and let me know. Comments are always welcome. So today we're going to be talking about 10 signs that you might have a nutrient deficiency and what to do about it. But before we get into that, let's get a quick word from a couple of our sponsors. Are you ready to finally stop smoking, but don't know where to start? This book, How to Stop Smoking Without Killing Anyone, is here to help. Written by a smoker, for a smoker, you will receive the step-by-step guidance and strategies you need to finally kick the habit before the habit leads to you kicking the bucket. Imagine yourself back in control of your health and your life. Visit stopdon'tquit.com right now and start your journey back into the non-smoking section. That's stopdon'tquit.com, stopdon'tquit.com. Meet the MyHigh Infrared Sauna Blanket, the world's most portable infrared sauna. Experience the sauna high from the comfort of your own home, utilizing effective infrared heat to promote a range of health benefits. Calm your mind and body, burn calories, detoxify better and faster. 5 minutes to heat up, 30 to 60 minutes per session, 1 minute to clean. Easily stored in our convenient carry bag. A fraction of the price of a normal sauna. Order yours today at richmansgym.com/myhigh. That's richmansgym.com/myhigh. richmansgym.com/myhigh. And we're back. Okay. So thank you for letting me pay some bills right there. 10 signs that you might have a nutrient deficiency. So my friends over at 10X Health, listen, if you are a first timer, my other job, when I'm not doing the Rich Man's Gym podcast, I am a 10X training facilitator and coach with Grant Cardone and Cardone Training Technologies, and part of Cardone Enterprises, the entire organization. We have a company called 10X Health, and over there, they're dedicated to optimizing your body. So that's why Rich Man's Gym makes such a great partner with them. But here's what they have. Well, here's what they've done. 10 signs that you might have a nutrient deficiency. And I'm going to list off some of the most common symptoms of nutrient deficiencies, and let me know if any of these ring a bell for you. Anxiety, depression, ADD, ADHD, OCD, poor sleep, gut issues, weight gain, brain fog, thyroid problems, high blood pressure. Any of these sound familiar? If you got bells ringing right now, and if you'd like to get to the bottom of it, then really the best thing to do is go get a gene test. And what it's going to do, it's going to let you know if you're deficient in certain nutrients. And another reason to get a gene test is that you might even be over supplementing. I know I was. I was taking all kinds of supplements based on self-diagnosing a potential problem without knowing all the facts. Now, you may be different, but my supplement routine used to be similar to throwing a bunch of you-know-what on the wall and seeing what sticks, which also most likely was resulting in some pretty expensive urine. So here's some nutrient deficiency fun facts for you. And this is something that I didn't even know. Did you know that all nutrients that go into the body need to be converted or transformed into a usable format? So what this means to you and I is everything we ingest, whether it's proteins, it's carbohydrates, it's amino acids, it's fats, all the way down to like minerals, the micronutrients, vitamins, our bodies can't convert some of these proteins and nutrients. They just can't convert them. So if your body can't convert into its usable form, right? So if your body can't convert something, then we're left with a nutrient deficiency, which can cause all sorts of issues, especially some of the things that we listed above just a second ago. And then to top it all off, every body is unique. We all have different genetic makeups. So while we might have some common symptoms, there could be very different reasons based on our DNA and our genetic makeup as to why we have those symptoms. For example, another nutrient deficiency fun fact, 44% of the world's population has a genetic mutation that makes it tough for them to create enough of the 5 MTHFR gene. What you call me? In a nutshell, if you experience anxiety, anxiousness, depression, panic attacks, gut issues, sleep issues, racing mind, it might be because your body can't create enough of this 5-MTHFR gene. I know what it sounds like. So when it doesn't do that, it can actually affect your methylation cycle. And that is a crucial process. I'm still studying it myself, but it is a crucial process that our body has to go through in order to convert raw nutrients into the usable forms that your body needs. This methylation process, it's essential for everything. Like we're talking detoxification, energy production, hormone balance, maintaining proper immune function, nervous system function. Like it's a really important thing. So there's good news and bad news about that. It's not just one gene that can cause these issues. There are actually 5 main genes that could get messed up, that could be preventing our bodies from functioning optimally and depriving us of essential nutrients that we need. So the good news is, here's back to the good news, is there's a very simple solution to this complex problem. So what are some of my problems? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to run you down the whole thing because I did my gene test over at 10X Health and I had results from them in about a week. Now, it turns out for me, I definitely have some issues with my MTHFR for sure. In fact, both of my parents left me with that gene mutation. So I'm in that 44% I was talking about earlier. Let me just run down the symptoms again, just so you can start thinking with, hey, could this be me? If your MTHFR is wonky, you could have anxiety, anxiousness, depression, panic attacks, gut issues, sleep issues, racing mind. I'm pretty okay with the gut stuff, but all that other stuff, I've experienced all of that. And as far back as I can remember, that's been a thing for me. Now, there's two more genes, MTR and MTRR. Both of those are also a little bit out of whack. Not as bad as the first one, not as bad as MTHFR, but my MTR and MTRR, I was denied that or had a mutation that was given to me by one or more of one of my other parents. Not sure which one. So and the only way to find that out is to get my parents tested. But I'm missing one from one or the other. So when you have deficiencies, you get some additional gut issues, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, cramping, right? Good times, yeah? But that doesn't really sound like me all that much, except if we factor in the fact that I do carry a lot of my anxiety in my stomach. Like when I get nervous, that's the first thing they go, my gut gets all wonky. And I think it's part of the gut-brain axis. If you know, there's a lot of serotonin stored in your stomach or created there too. So there's definitely a connection. And in addition to that, I do consider myself to be a very good belcher. Lemonade out of lemons, baby. Now, what about that's MTR. Now, what about the MTRR? So that typically comes back to things like heartburn, acid reflux, thyroid issues, short temper, high blood pressure. So no on the heartburn and the acid reflux. That's very, very rare for me, not a common thing. And my thyroid seems to be behaving itself, but I will admit, I can't have a short temper at times. And I have spent years working on managing that and then controlling it. And my blood pressure does tend to run a little bit high, which is another reason I'm such a huge proponent of breath work. So now here's where it gets really interesting for me. Here's where it got interesting for me. And you're going to have the exact same experience. When you do this, if you do this yourself, you're going to have the exact same experience as I had as you go through this and you discover, how your body's working. So the other genes that they test for is AHCY and COMP. Now, I'm not a geneticist or an expert in any of these areas. These are things that I've learned from going through this test. Both of those are intact. They're good, which is awesome, right? Especially considering that the symptoms are addictive tendencies and behavior, ADD, ADHD, OCD, racing thoughts, poor sleep, perfectionism, high self-drive. But where it gets interesting is I've also been challenged with many of these symptoms in my life and have struggled with addiction in my life, whether that's drugs, alcohol, cigarettes. So how can that be? Well, I think it's actually simple for me, at least. I think that a lot of my addictions have been me trying to self-medicate my way out of the anxiety that's triggered from the 5-MTHFR one, which sets the like if you're missing that, and it sets the stage for a really nice addiction or two, especially when the thing you try brings relief from the anxiety. Okay, so what's the next step? So remember what I said earlier about just getting the gene test. It's a simple solution to a very complex problem. Once you get tested with 10X Health, they're going to give you a customized supplement program that's literally designed to compensate for your unique gene mutations and consequently handle a nutrient deficiency or 2 or 3. So I've been following the supplement protocol that I got based on my results from my 10X gene test for almost 9 months at this point, which seems like incredible because it's gone really, really fast. So what I've noticed about the main thing is that my overall well-being is better, like way better. And I want you to keep in mind that that does not mean that I don't experience anxiety or have an occasional sleepless night. But like, here's the deal. The frequency is way less and the intensity is way less too. So since 2007, I've managed my anxiety without drugs, alcohol, nicotine. And instead I've replaced that with things like vigorous exercise, breath work, mostly healthy diet, right? And those things have helped keep my anxiety in check. Now I've got the nutrients, the micronutrients under better control as well. And I did that through adding the 10X supplements. And 9 months later, here I am talking to you about a greater sense of well-being. And I don't feel like I'm in a constant fight with anxiety, trying to keep it at bay. And that's another point that I want to make here. When you do your gene test and you start supplementing for deficiency instead of just supplementing for the sake of supplementing, it's kind of like growing a plant, you know? Like, it's probably not going to bear fruit overnight. It's going to take time for your body to reset. And so that the last piece of advice I want to give you on this is patience. For me, it's almost 9 months. I really started noticing about 3 months into it. And then 6 months later, I can stand here safely and say, yeah, I'm noticing a difference. So the next steps for you, what would that be? Well, clearly, if you haven't done it already, then I just want to encourage and invite you to go get your genes tested over at 10X Health. And you can also support the podcast when you do that. So you go over to richmansgym.com/10X Health. And that's where you're going to go to get started. richmansgym.com/10X Health. Once you place your order, they're going to mail you your kit and you get to do a cheek swab just like they do in CSI, right? And so you send it back and then within days you get a full report just like mine. And they'll tell you what supplements you need and what to do. And maybe what you don't need too. You might actually discover that as well. And what starts happening? You optimize your body. That's what starts happening. And that really is the final point here. Because no one deserves to suffer with the symptoms that we talked about today. No one. And if there's a way to get real relief in a natural way and to avoid self-medication and or pharmaceuticals with a side effect list longer than a CVS receipt, wouldn't you want to know about it? Wouldn't you want to do something about it? Of course you would. Now, if you have questions, leave a comment below. Shoot me a direct message. Like, I'm more than happy to make sure you have all the information that you need so that you can make a well-informed decision about you, your gene test, working with 10X Health, whatever I can do to help and support. Please feel free to reach out and let me know. And that's a wrap for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you staying to the end. Drop a comment on what you're getting out of it. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out. Make sure, again, subscribe and share. If you got something out of it, somebody else will too. This is Rich Man's Gym, strength and conditioning for body, mind, and spirit. Thanks again for listening. Can't wait to talk to you again real soon. See ya.